On to the news now. Thanks for staying. In our first story, Municipal Chief Executive for Lejokuku, Mordecai Kwashi, has rejected a 2-month ultimatum by residents of Teshie to fix all roads in the enclave. Hundreds of residents took to the streets Tuesday to protest the poor nature of their roads. They say this is the first in a series of demonstrations to demand immediate action from government. Here's James Aveji's report.
As early as 6 a.m., these residents started massing up on the streets. In a short time, hundreds of them, including traditional leaders, had already gathered in what they call the Meba Teshie or White Teshie demonstration to call on government to fix all inner roads in the municipality. Some of the notable roads include Teshie Estate Road, Zongo Junction Road, and Teshie Agbleja Road, among others. Most of these stretches are riddled with potholes, creating gullies and mini ponds buried in the belly of the roads, posing danger to road users.
This part of the street is what they call the Coffee Street. It's actually from the first junction towards the MC's office. As you can see in your shot, these are empty sacks of cement as well as some other bags, which is an indication that the residents had earlier tried to patch the roads by themselves, where they fetch sand into sacks and dump them in some bellies of potholes on the roads in order to facilitate the easy moving of vehicles.
The residents say they cannot take it any longer.
Buying and selling is not moving. When you pick a taxi, you are going for a short distance. Instead of the taxi driver should take like 10 cities, the taxi driver will take 50 cities. And the residents are very, very angry.
Roads are very bad, especially the greater estate and the first junction to Tribler Road is very bad. It's very bad. We have 3 miscarriages. Women are having miscarriages. You understand? So I want to plead the MCE, that's Honorable Mordecai, to fix our road for us.
When we sent the flyer, we saw them that they have gone to the site and they started doing some of the work. But as I'm telling you currently, they've moved the excavators from the proposed starting point for the demonstration, and we can't see those things there.
When we go to the assembly meeting, we even do that. Do this road, do this and this. We will not do it. We will tell us that you have gone to the road minister. We should go to court. When we go to court, we should go and present our issues there. We go to the road minister several times. Several times, nothing is happening.
As they approached the entrance of the Lejokuku Municipal Assembly to present their petition, chaos broke out. The gate to the assembly had been tightly locked and manned by several police officers who prevented the protesters. Finally, a consensus was reached to allow only leadership of the concerned resident of Teshie and pressmen to gain entry. Leader of the group, Metal Nunu Jr., in his petition gave government 2 months to fix the roads.
Municipal Chief Executive, if you are asleep, wake up.
Don't sleep.
If you are asleep, wake up. So, boy, this is our word. We are giving you 2 months ultimatum. If we hear nothing, the Constitution gives us the right, Article 21(1)(d), to embark on civil demonstration. The Public Order Act 1994 gives us the right. 2 months ultimatum, and you hear from the people of Teshie again.
But the Municipal Chief Executive Mordecai Kwashi says the roads cannot be fixed in 2 months.
The government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo doesn't need your ultimatum to perform. I've told you that we've given us 4 major projects in our municipality. And these are roads. Before last week, a contractor was giving our roads. These roads are being done on right as we speak. Work is going on as we speak. It's a big project. The guy won't be at one location all through the project, but the project is ongoing, and we will not relent. The contractor will not leave until these 4 roads are done. When these 4 roads are done, we will all know the 4 roads are done. The cost, I can't give you the cost now. But the roads immediately deemed for constructing are around 16.9 kilometers. But as I said, be that as it may, it's fine. All is well that ends well. This demonstration has ended peacefully. It has been a good demonstration.
Speaking to the media, Member of Parliament for the Lejokuku constituency, Benjamin Ayikunate, also noted that the contractors have assured him that the job will be done in 6 months.
I believe the youth of this community will exercise patience and will keep on watching. The work is going on. Within 6 months, most of our roads will be fixed.
As for the residents, all they ask is for their road to be fixed, else government risks series of demonstrations to drum home their demand if their ultimatum is not met. James Kwesiaveji's report read to you.
Meanwhile, a group calling itself the Man Contractors Association has been picketing at the Ministry of Roads and Highways in Accra over non-payment of their 3 years arrears, now amounting to some 250 million Ghana cedis. Here's Carlos Kaloni's report.
The Man Contractors Association, who say they are private contractors engaged by the Ghana Highways Authority to carry out works such as the silting of drains within and around highways, among others, Tuesday morning picketed the Ministry of Roads and Highways demanding the payment of outstanding arrears. According to them, since August 2019, government has failed to pay them for works done over a 3-year period, accumulating to some 250 million Ghana cedis. Some members of the group say even though they have not been paid, they are debtors after them following a memo they cited claiming payment have been effected.
Nationwide, they owe us more than 250 million Ghana cedis. This paper coming out, a lot of people are demanding for those who that we own, they are demanding for their money. Which means we are trying to be bad person here because we went and borrowed money from them to execute project and they have paid us and we don't want to return their money back to them, which is not good.
Our debtors, because they have said that they have been paid, whilst actually we have not even received a peso from the ministry.
According to them, some of their members have already passed away, with many others battling varying kinds of ailments owing to their inability to raise funds for medical treatment. This 77-year-old woman and her colleagues lament the dire impact the non-payment of the money is having on them.
Just imagine, for almost 4 years, you have worked and you have not been paid. We have to eat. We all go to the same market, the same hospital, and so many other things. If you are depriving us with our own money, what do you want to happen to us? You just want to hear that we are dead and gone, as most of us has happened to them.
I am unable to pay my child's school fees. We have borrowed money so much that I couldn't even sleep. We find it difficult to even feed. I am diabetic and hypertensive. My drugs have run out, but I don't have money to buy anymore.
Speaking to Joy News, the national organizer of the group, John Atasem, said they are giving the ministry a 2-week ultimatum to pay all the outstanding monies.
We are giving the government now, but let me give them a letter where they go 2 weeks. As soon as they have been able to pay one person out of 1,000, 2,000, they have to pay us. We are giving them 2 weeks. They should pay us.
Joy News' attempt to speak to the authorities on the matter at the ministry have not been successful.
These have been the concerns of the Man Contractors Association of Ghana, who actually carry out works for the ministry as well as the Ghana Highways Authority. They are giving the ministry 2 weeks ultimatum to actually pay them their money. Otherwise, they would advise themselves. Reporting from the Ministry of Roads and Highways here in Accra, my name is Carlos Kaloni for Joy News.
In our next story, Ghana's housing sector is envisaged to experience substantial gains with interventions proffered by doctoral students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, that Department of Architecture. Now, their work, ranging from climate-smart houses to inclusive designs, outline ways Ghana's built environment can meet the ever-changing demands of the citizens and the environment. There's more in this report.
25 works were screened by a panel consisting of the head of the Center for Settlement Studies, Professor Divine Haji, head of the Architecture Department, Professor Resford Asasiopon, Construction Technology and Management Consultant, Professor Emmanuel Adinyira, and Professor Kwesi Preko of the Physics Department. Third-year PhD student Ms. Henrietta Brew in Timadai, whose work focused on interior green-blue spaces, was crowned the overall best.
The problem is that urbanization has had an effect on our environment, and one of them impact is in our indoor environment. And we're looking at poor air quality, we're looking at noise pollution, air pollution, thermal comfort, and then the general quality of life. Now, the indoor environment is affected by other things, that is culture, that plays a role. And because of, in the olden days, the indigenous people have beliefs and practices, such as our ancestor worship and reverence for our natural environment. But as a result of urbanization, we're just trying to find out if it's still relevant to us today. President of the group, Prince Ofuria Brokwa, was optimistic the works will inform policy.
Because I know it must inform policy framework for the benefit of the country. After all, they invest in a public institution, and the public also must benefit from what we are doing.
Professor Emmanuel Adinyira, who served as an external assessor, was impressed with some of the presentations and urged other researchers to actively communicate their activities.
This is clearly, as the HOD communicated to us, a course in architecture for those reading a PhD in architecture. And it's a course that is meant for them to not only be equipped with how to present their work, but how to graphically also communicate their research. And that is essential. In academia, we tend to be quite fussy about writing papers and, of course, theses and all that, but a very important way to communicate our research is through posters, where we use simple text with graphics, very captivating graphics, and then we are able to engage. And I think that's what this session is offered us. I've been very impressed with some of them, yes, but of course they are students, so there are issues that they can always improve on, yes.
Reporting for Joy.
Now, many young girls lack knowledge about menstrual periods until they reach puberty. But understanding the menstrual cycle is crucial for managing their menstrual hygiene. The founder of Africa Nyonu, Malonate, has introduced Sew a Pad and Stay in School, SAPSIS, that project to teach adolescents how to sew reusable sanitary pads with their hands using local fabric. There is more in this report.
So if someone menstruates for 21 days, it means they'll menstruate 2 times in a month.
Many young girls still do not know what menstrual periods are until they reach puberty. Understanding the menstrual cycle helps girls learn about their bodies and how to manage their menstrual hygiene.
So how do we count it? When you menstruate today, you tick it on a calendar. The first day you see your blood is day 1. Let's bear that in mind. The first day you see your blood or you menstruate is day 1.
But the knowledge is not enough without menstrual hygiene product. The imposition of a 20% luxury tax on menstrual hygiene product has made it even more difficult for these women, especially young girls, to access the product they need.
It's the same way sanitary pads are made. So they come with a shorter front and a longer back.
However, with the necessary skills, young girls can sew reusable sanitary pads for themselves. Malloy Nate is the founder of Africa Nyonu.
And teaching them how to sew their own reusable sanitary pads using locally sourced fabrics. And that is what we are doing because the prices of sanitary pads are hiking. They are becoming too expensive for them to afford. So we are hoping and praying that this intervention will help them to acquire menstrual hygiene material every month, and they'll be able to come to school and not stay at home.
A student at the Abosokai Basic School, Precious in Shraba, emphasizes the importance of observing menstrual hygiene as a young girl.
As a lady like we should always make sure that we change our pad 4 times a day
4 times a day and prevent ourselves from flowing of the blood.
Empowering young girls with access to menstrual products, education, and appropriate facilities is essential for their overall well-being. Prince also answers report for Joy News.
He had high hopes of winning the maiden edition of Joy Prime's Cues and Lyrics, but that dream has now ebbed away after 7 weeks in the competition. Today we look at Udim's journey through the competition.
Would you keep on loving me? Little did he know this would be his last performance on Cues and Lyrics. Would you keep bringing out the best in me? Udine failed to impress the judges with his rendition of Saddest Sweetest Taboo.
I feel Patapapa as you. He's a better artist than you. Vocally, you're very good, but you're sad on stage.
Unfortunately, the votes failed him too.
Udine, the journey ends for you here today.
Udine becomes the third contestant to drop the microphone and exit the competition. Despite his exit, he's left us with some great memories. He was among a group of 4 to win the judges' favorite prize for the first time. Udine's performance improved as he surprised the judges with an enthralling rendition of Kamido's Sugarcane. We wish him well in his future endeavors. Meanwhile, 9 contestants are still in the game, yearning to clinch the ultimate prize. Remember, you have the power to keep your favorite contestant from eviction. Dial *711*60# to vote. Cues and Lyrics. Bring on the music.
Whoa, girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You see through this storm and take me as I am. Take me as I am.
And on that sad note, we take a cue right into the newspaper review with Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante. Do stay. We'll be right back.